We're in the final section of tutorials at this point, and these last three tutorials are really about just getting your scene ready to submit, making sure all the parts that you need for credit in the class are included, and really just how to get this piece you've been working on for most of the class to look as good as it can. I'm going to use my goat example in this because he's got a lot of parts and pieces here, so he's a good example for this. If I was to render this right now, what I would get is this scene. There's no lighting in the scene. There's no shadows. And our model, even though it probably looks pretty good, is looking really flat at this point and just not very good at all. So what you want to do is light this scene. Now, we've covered lighting in previous tutorials. The class covers lighting to a basic level. If you want to try and light your own scene, that's fine. Remember, you do not need a turnaround, although if you do want to submit one, that's fine also. I think they really show off the models nicely, but you don't have to. But you do need some lighting, and at this point you would install your own lighting if you want to go that way, or you can use one of the lighting rigs that I've given you as part of the class. I'm going to show you how to install one of the pre-made lighting rigs, but if you're going to make your own lighting, at this point you'd be installing your own lighting. To install the pre-made lighting rigs, you just go to File, Merge, open your scene first. Always merge the lights to the scene. And I'm going to hit Merge, and I'm going to go find my pre-made light rigs. And they're right here. And you can see that there's three here. The images don't give you much to go on. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. It's the Fast 4. And I'll open it. I'm going to get this screen, which is now asking me what would I like to merge. I'm going to merge everything in the scene, I think, except for the plane, which is the ground plane. And I believe everything else is fine. I'm looking here. I think that'll work. And I'm going to hit OK. Now, there might be lights in your scene that already have the name, or something in your scene might have the name. I'm going to check Apply to All Duplicates and say Auto Rename, which now Max is going to auto rename everything. Here's my lighting dome. We've seen this one before when we made this scene in the environmental setup. Everything I've merged at this point is still selected, so you don't want to click on anything because you want to keep these selected. Otherwise, it's really hard to get them selected again. I'm going to scale this up to the proper scale, and it could have to be really scaled up. You don't know what scale my stuff is that you're importing, and you really don't know what scale of your creature was. We didn't bother with scale too much during the class. And so I'm going to now maneuver this into place just over the center. That looks pretty good. I don't need this little piece down here. Okay, and now I've applied lighting to my scene, and if I was to go ahead and render this, it would render it. It's probably going to take a little bit too long for this video, but I'll keep talking while it's rendering. But you want to use either the light rigs that I've given you. I think I've given you 3 or 4 of them, and they're okay. They're pretty good for just showing off basic models. They're also good for turnarounds. The light rigs that I give you will have the camera included if you'd like to do a turnaround. But you don't have to merge the camera. And we can see as this is rendering that my scene already looks a little bit better now. There's some shadows in there. There's some global lighting, or actually it's simulated global lighting. There's some ray trace shadows. Our goat now looks like he's stuck onto the ground, which is what we're after, of course. And we get a little bit more volume in the scene. Everything just looks better. So go ahead and light your scene at this point. We're almost to the end, and the last 2 videos here will walk you through the last 2 steps you need in order to submit this for credit.